And I look at that, I'm like, ah, that one. Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I'm an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you'd like to know more about my knitwear designs, check in the description below. There you find a link to my Ravelry designer page where you can see what patterns I have available for YouTube purchase and knit up for yourself. Also in the description below, you will find a link to the Watch Barbara Knit's Facebook group. Love to have you come over and join us so we can continue the conversations that we start here on the YouTube channel. Today for you, I have a book look. Now, you saw me open up this book. I showed it off once in one of my vlogs a couple months ago, and things have been a little chaotic, but I'm excited to get to it now. I want to explain briefly what a book look is, because I don't necessarily want to call it a review, because a review implies I might say something unpleasant. And you know what? I don't need that negativity in my YouTube or in my life. There are books out there that I have come across and I don't particularly care for them, and I'm not going to show them to you. I'm only going to show you stuff I like. I mean, what's the point? And so I like keeping it positive. So I call this a book look because this is a book that I have found that I have decided I like it enough that I want to share it with y'all. And we're going to look through it. I'm going to show you some pictures and tell you what I like about it. I am super duper excited about this one. It is called Knitted Tanks and Tunics by Angela Hahn, and it is 21 crisp, cool designs for sleeveless tops. I am so very excited about this because literally in 2 weeks I am moving to Florida. I'm moving to Sarasota, and the idea of knitting a sweater, not real high on my list, but the idea of knitting a tunic or a tank top I think is really exciting. It's the perfect time of year for it and something I would get a lot of use out of. And we're starting in the summer, so I thought y'all might want to take a look at this also. I do want to tell you that this is from my publisher, Stackpole. So they sent me this as a complimentary copy to review because I wrote them and I said, I saw you had a tank book coming out. Could I possibly see it? And they sent it to me. It's available right now. I'll put a link in the description below to where you can check it out. As always, I encourage you to first stop, try your local yarn store and see if they're carrying it, because I strongly believe in supporting local yarn stores. But there'll also be a link below. Now, let's dive into this. It's got beautiful photographs, and I'm really happy with this. And then it has a really amazing, let's see, let me make sure. Oh, I'm right up on my mic. Sorry, guys. It's got a visual, so you can see a brief view of all of the pictures, which I think is a really great way to lay things out. And she talks about why she did it. And then so it's got a whole front section. And so we've got a section on how the patterns are sized to explain to you how to choose the best pattern size for you. She has a section on measuring your body, and then she talks about ease. Now, in case you don't know, just a brief thing on ease is how it's supposed to fit. If something has neutral ease, that means if you're talking about like a bust dimension, the bust dimension is equal to whatever your bust dimension is. Negative ease means they intend for it to stretch a little bit. So if you have like a 38-inch bust, the actual measurement of the piece might be like 37 or 36 inches. So if it was 36 inches, that would be a 2 inches of negative ease. That means it's going to stretch. Positive ease is when it is actually intended to be loose. So if you have a 38-inch chest, you might be knitting a 40-inch actual piece so that you have 2 inches of positive ease. I hope that makes a little bit of sense, but she explains it extensively. She also has, this is really cool, a section on how to alter the pattern to improve a fit, which I really like because one of the fantastic things about knitting your own garments is that you can customize it to yourself. She has it broken down on how to change the hip circumference, how to change the waist circumference, interesting back waist, which is not something I've ever thought about. I'm excited about reading that. And then talking about gauge, she has pretty much the same opinion on gauge as I do, which is you need to get gauge. You need to knit your gauge swatch. You need to block it so you know what's going to happen. And then I was super excited to see she has a whole section on working with plant origin yarns, which it stands to make. It totally stands to reason that if you're going to be knitting a tank or a tunic or something that's supposed to be lightweight, that you might be using a silk or a flax or a linen or a hemp or something, or cotton, something that is a plant-based, and they do behave very differently. So she gives you extensive information on how to, even up into like how to weave in the ends. So that is super cool. So let's now, and then we jump straight into the patterns. So there is a super cool first one. Now, I've looked through this book a couple times, and the funny thing is as I'm looking through it, I'm like, ooh, that's the first one I'm gonna make. And then the next one, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make that one first. That's totally the first one. And then I look at that, and I'm like, ah, that one. It's just, they're absolutely gorgeous. I love the look of this one. I can't say it's first on my list because the way it cuts in is not particularly my style, but I think it's super cool. I love this little detail in the front where you've got that little fold. And I believe that the yoke is yoked first and then it's attached, but it's super cool because she's got, look, an illustration to show you how you're supposed to do it. So I think that is really cool. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention is that most of these go from size extra small all the way up to like 3XL. So that is a fairly extensive size range, which is great for me because I'm not a little girl. Then we have Atlanta. Obviously I want to make that one, and I think this one is super elegant. I actually have a picture here to show you so you can see it up close. It is very simple. It's worked from the bottom up, and then the top part is worked flat, so the garter makes sense. I think that this, if I was going to start with one, it would be this one because it looks super simple and elegant, and I love it, and I can see it being a staple in my wardrobe. And then I've pulled out pictures of the ones I really liked. This next one, look at the back on this thing. Isn't that super cool? And it's got a nice flowy front. And I'm going to show you the schematic. All of these have great schematics, which frankly, if you're knitting a garment and the pattern doesn't have a schematic, don't knit it. I mean, things like shawls and cowls, schematics are, you know, hit or miss, and that's okay because they don't really have to fit. But if you're making a garment and it needs to fit you, it needs a schematic. So if you find a pattern that doesn't have a schematic and it's a garment, see that as a warning flag. But I'm going to put my hand over some of this. Look, so it's super cool how it's constructed. And it's really interesting and how the finishing is cool. But so that one I really like. We have one that has a color work yoke, which again is that cut in on the side, which looks absolutely amazing on some people. Not so much on me, but it's still beautiful. Let's see here. The next one, and again, great schematic. This one, Mosaic color work. You know how I am about Mosaic color work, and I like that it has the panel on the front and the back, and that the panel, the front one, is higher so it's not hitting you on a weird place on the girls if you're making this for yourself, or you know, if that's a concern for you. And it's nice. It's got a great chart. And then let's see what else we have. This one, the back of it is super cool. If you like cables, really cool, and I like the way this goes. And this one I think would be, I mean, you could wear this in the dead of summer. Let's see what yarn she used. She used it in Barocco Weekend, which is an acrylic and cotton blend, which is a very interesting blend, and I bet is really breathable and also very washable. So that would be fantastic. This one I looked up, it confused me, the construction. We've got another yoke style. Where am I? You guys can see that. But it's different than the other yoke styles. It doesn't cut in quite as much. And I looked it up, and the way that this yoke is worked is it's like cast on a small number of stitches, and it's worked side to side with short rows grafted together, and then you work the other piece, which I think that is a really interesting construction. The back is so pretty. Those are my sound effects. This one I pulled out a picture of. I adore this one because I just love this line on it. Let me see, there's one other, I'll show you the big picture. The way that that line comes underneath the bust line and the panels on the side, I think would be super, super flattering. I really think this one is absolutely lovely. I also like the really deep scoop on the neck. And this one goes up to 3X, and the yarn she used is 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. Again, these seem like they're going to be super easy care. She's got, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Oh, interesting. So this piece that runs around, right, is an accent cord, is how she has it labeled. And she's got like step-by-step pictures of how to attach it, which I think is super cool and interesting. Oh, there's the picture that I just showed you. There's the inset. This one, if you like cables or twisted stitches, super cool. I like the shaping on it. Again, very flattering. What yarn? A cotton rayon. That's cool. I bet that's going to drape amazing. Cotton plus rayon has got to be good. This one is super cool, and she explains, so this one is a yarn that is a Rowan Cotton Luster Harebell, which is a tape style yarn, and it knits on a bulky. So this is on size 11s. But isn't it cool? Look how it's got that down at the bottom. I could totally see this one, as again, she said they're tanks and tunics. I could see elongating the waist part and making this so it goes even further down, and wearing it with leggings would be super fun. And it's got a really, really cool, there we go, edging. Look at that. I believe that that edging is going to be knitted on. Yes, indeed it is. I can look at the chart and tell. What else? Ooh. This one sort of has a fake V-neck, which I think is super fun. And Marietta is a place in Atlanta, which is super cool. But the back on this has a really sweet line. This one is one that it's got more of a cropped look, which is great on some bodies. Again, the great thing about knitting patterns is that I would definitely need to make that longer because I'm too short. And if you crop me too high, I just look like a little stumpy person. And that is the great thing about knitting. This one looks super straightforward initially. But look, oh, I'm whispering again. Look at the detail there. So it's got little holes down the side, and you can adjust the sides, which I think is a really fun detail. It also has a rolled neckline, which I always like. Okay, here's a real close-up of it. See, it's like a drawstringy kind of effect. That's super cool. What else do we got? This one. I love a supplice. Now, you're like, what's a supplice, Barbara? Or half are you like, yes, I love supplices. Supplice is, well, probably just easier to show you the picture. It's when you've got this kind of crossover effect. Right? I've done a supplice for a little kids one, and I'm always looking for ones for adults because I look really good in a V-neck, and they it just looks, it's very flattering, and I love this lace skirt action. And this one I looked at is really interesting. It has actually instructions for, there it is, A cup, B cup, C cup. It has cup size because of how it fits, which I'm like, that is amazing and wonderful for customization. So I really like that. This is a full-blown tunic. I could see that being great for like a swimsuit cover-up, which I am totally going to need because I'm going to go to the beach a lot in the very near future. This one is neat because it's got the cool counterpane details in the front and the back. And if you're looking for something with more interesting construction, it would be a good option. And I love this one. I have a picture for this one. This is super cool. I like the front and the back. They're both lovely. And I love me a V-neck. And you got to make sure you see the bottom of it. It's got detail on the top and the bottom. This one again looks like a fairly straightforward knit, and I think after Atlanta this would be number 2 on my list as far as easy and fun looking. Oh, they're short rows. So it says the angles created by the short rows create the shallow V-neck. So that's how she's doing the V-neck. So that's a slightly more complex than the Atlanta one. And then this one, I love, 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 love. Look at that back. It's so pretty. And then the front, also gorgeous. The little bit of lace and a little bit of detail on it. What yarn is this one in? A Pima Cotton Bamboo Blend. Oh, this is going to feel like butter on the skin. It's going to be awesome. So that one is absolutely beautiful. They're all pretty. See, this is, I told you, man, this thing is killing me. Look how gorgeous that is. Look how pretty that is. It's just, and both the front and the back are gorgeous. I love the little cables. I love the lace. This one is definitely bottom up, and it is in 100% mercerized cotton, so you could wear it anytime you want. Again, being the way I am, I might make it a little bit longer, but I can do that if I want to. And then I think this, nope, there's a couple more. This one's a cool one if you're into cables. It's got a lot of fun texture, and this is really a classic tank shape. And then, oh, 2 more. This is another one that's got the fun lace skirt on the bottom. I can't see. I'm used to having 2 monitors, but because of the craziness, but it's got a beautiful, and it's got a nice kind of belt detail. I'm guessing that's going to be an I-card, but I really like the skirt action there. And again, this is one you could maybe make longer, and it would almost be a dress, which could be super duper cool. Yeah, that definitely, oh, now that I'm thinking, that could be really cool. And then the straps are knit separately. Loose ends of straps will be joined cast on edge in front. Very cool. And again, she's got illustrations on your finishing, which I think is great. And then the final one, again, this is one I can totally see as a beach cover-up. And it's only got the 1 arm. Oh, Barbara. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's so fine, and it's got beautiful shape to it. This is on, what is the yarn on this one? Looks really interesting. It's a fine weight, viscose and linen. Oh, that is going to be absolutely amazing. It's on size 7 needles. Look, so you can see, it's almost like a triangle shawl kind of shaping, but it is just beautiful. So, and then in the back, she's got the abbreviations, and then some pictures on how to do stuff. How to do short rows, how to do attached I-cord, and how to do all the details that you need to know. Just in case you were wondering, here we go. There's Angela Hahn. And so, this is Knitted Tanks and Tunics. 21 crisp, cool designs for sleeveless tops by Angela Hahn. This could keep you knitting all summer long and in awesome fashion all summer long. And if I can find the time this summer, I'm going to at least knit one of these. If y'all want to see it, let me know. You guys want to maybe vote on tell me which one you think I should do first. I'm seriously thinking that it's gonna be Atlanta, because it just looks so straightforward and fun, and like one that you could knit in like multiple different colors. Let's see what size needles. It's on a size 9 needle, and she knit it in sugar and cream. that is a big thumbs up. Super excited. So that was my book look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of these, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any books you'd like to take a look at. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, click that like button. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. Thank you so much.